Good evening. Let's just share this out. Wait for a few of you to pop in. I do these live because I enjoy the interaction with you lot. None of this is pre-recorded. I don't have a budget. I'm not interested in that, to be fair. I'm kind of an independent, not journalist, but someone that brings you the real events of what's happening in the world that the BBC and all the other channels won't cover, like systematic abuse, ritualistic abuse of us as a people. That's why we're here. So, right, I'm just sharing this out on a couple of platforms. We'll come in and we'll have half hour. I'm just trying to grow this channel as well. And for all intents and purposes, it's only been up and running for about a week and a half. And we've got about 300 extra subscribers. So I'm happy with that. In fact, I'm more than happy with that. Hello, Ken. Nice to see you. Kenny Mack there all the way up in Scotland. How the devil are you? I see a post earlier. I probably won't be able to find it because that's how we roll. On the Telegraph, the Daily Telegraph has reported that 92 kids have been saved, 92 youngsters, and 100 paedophilers and their networks have been shut down. So, well done, the police. Congratulations. Well done. That is absolutely awesome. To the Metropolitan Police for catching all them paedophiles and them network rings. Let me tell you, you're rocking it now. You're rocking it now. Why? Because you're doing things you was paid to do. You're doing things that you was entrusted to do. That is protecting property, liberty, and life. God bless you for it, and may you do more of it. And it's now time, I think, for people within the police and within the system and within all these drug companies to think to themselves, you know what? I might work in the police, but I've got... You might have an extended family of 100 members. It's not uncommon with cousins, second cousins, nieces, nephews, this, that, the other. And you're bringing this peril, this nightmare, this totalitarian tiptoe in for them. That's what you're bringing it in for. And it's. I just want you to question what it is that you're doing. So that is really, 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 really fantastic news from the Daily Telegraph today. That they're actually finally starting to see through and give humanity the protection that it is required. My mate Reginald says on here on a social media outlet, and the thing is with the social media, that's where you're going to get your kind of truthy stuff. Everything on the BBC, Channel 4, mainstream, it's all censored. Heavily censored and agendaed. They have their controllers, their masters, the Rupert Murdochs and all that of this world say what news you can get and what you can't get. It is a dystopia. It's so wrong because you can't raise the alarm. You can't raise the defence and the protection, can you? Nigel Farage, or as Trump says, Nigel Farage, China. I love Trump. I do. I think he's a good boy. Nigel Farage went down the coast this weekend and reported a video documentary on migrants coming across the channel, being picked up out there on the swell and bringing back to England and given a welcome and all this and that. And Nigel Farage has been paid a visit by the police. Nigel Farage has been paid a visit by the police, and he's going, this is tyranny. What is going on? He says, I'm a politician. I'm down here raising the alarm, setting lights to the beacons, letting my countrymen know what's going on in their gorgeous country. And I get a visit from the business. Now, that's an abuse of police power. They should never get involved in thought crimes, hate crimes, anything like that. That's a nonsense. It's just a money spinner for the judiciary, you know. Oh, the judiciary make fortunes. They make fortunes off your misery. The swamp needs draining, people. Reginald Austin, and I'll make him right with this post. When are you going to realise the UK government are a foreign army out to destroy Great Britain and its people? Now, I agree. I really, really do. I've just watched a fantastic documentary by Dr. Judy. Oh, what's her last name? And she got arrested. She was big to do with sorting out the AIDS virus, the HIV virus. And she started to release some documents that was detrimental to the system. And she got raided, busted up, twisted up, and put in prison, told her husband was lent on big time. Blimey, there's a video on here of a hornet killing a mouse. Oh, my word. Anyway, she was destroyed, but now she's telling the truth. And I will find her name and put it up in the comments if anyone wants to watch it. Another one. And what we got here, right? Hello, Truth Seeker. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Let's say the government is a dam, right? And for all intents and purposes, the government's been running for years without anyone looking at it and paying attention, because we've all been too busy working, paying taxes, dying, breathing, having babies, all that great stuff, playing football, golf, tennis, you know. We love a bit of freedom that way, but we haven't seen this beast materialise, right? So government has had this big dam with a big facade on the front, and they poke their head over the top and they look down on the minions and they go, peasants. And they truthfully do. They think we're all peasants, we're all goyim, we're not worthy, and we're to be treated as animals. That's in their heads, not mine. No, does my head in. But this dam is now appearing to have leaks because it's old and the concrete's all starting to wear, and the pressure behind it is pushing forward on that dam. So what you're getting is all these holes appear in this dam called government, and you'll get a minister try and put his hand in there, 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 and then all of a sudden the dam's going to come down. There is no stopping this coming, no stopping this whatsoever. With David Icke and stuff, we've had a government, I think a government minister's retired today, handed his resignation in because he can no longer support this pandemic, scamdemic. And I'm pretty sure that one day the people of this country will hold these politicians accountable for the fear-mongering and the fear porn around this pandemic, scandemic. I really do. Now, I'm not suggesting people ain't dying. They are. This Dr. Judy Mikovits, Mikovits, she's got a YouTube video up there. And it's doing the rounds, let me tell you. It's called Plandemic Part 1, Dr. Judy Mikovits. Now, this is a woman that worked, and as she was very instrumental in sorting out all the HIV stuff. So let's give her a round of applause and say, well done, me lovely. By the way, I don't know if you're going out clapping tomorrow night. I can imagine most of the country getting a bit bored with that now. Clapping the NHS. What's that all about? I don't understand that. It's unprecedented. I've never seen these things before. A pastor in America is exposing the banking elite corruption and virus hoax. This is a pastor from a massive church out there, and he's preaching it. And I've got a mate that popped round earlier. He runs a church in Maidstone, very big in this church. I'm not going to say which one it is. And he's gorgeous. And he speaks his mind, and he lives in the book. And he upset a few people from the church there last night because he called it out. He said, this ain't right. He said, there's something going on here. And a few of the people in the meeting had to get up and walk out because they disagreed with him vehemently that this was all going on. And he said, no, I'm not having it. This is a fraud on the people. This is a fraud on the church. This is a fraud on the sovereign people of this country. The people that are getting this so-called virus, personally, I think it's airborne. I think it's been sprayed in the aerosols. As we know, if you've ever been up in an aeroplane in the last few years, you'll see it's like pea soup up there. They've been spraying all sorts up there for years. And the government even admit that they've been doing tests on us for years from all sorts of things. Sort of this test and that test to see how we react. I mean, who are these people? So I wouldn't mind betting that they've sprayed something in the atmosphere that's catching people that have got a bit of vulnerability. I wouldn't mind betting that a lot of these people that are coming down with this stuff have had the flu vaccine. That's what I'm feeling on my heart. And I hope I'm wrong, but it just feels to me that this is the case. They spray it in an atmosphere and it comes down, gets into your soil, gets into your body, these aerosols. They're spraying millions of tons of bariums and aluminiums and all these other things up there every single day, people. But then everyone thinks you're mad. I've got some encouraging news today. I've been speaking to a lady friend of mine over in Essex, and she said one of her aunties is on her, right, so quick nowadays. Have you seen this? Have you seen that? And she said, Auntie, I told you all about this 5 years ago, and you said I was cuckoo. And she went, oh, yeah, but check it out. She went, no, you go and do your research. You go and get on your journey. Don't come leaning on me. You go and do your own research. You look into it. And that's what I encourage everyone to do. Take the words that we use, go out and do the research and set yourself free. That's what this is all about. I'm living in a country that's run by idiots. And I'm driven by idiots in as much as everything they do has to turn into money and it has to turn into control. And that's the truth. I popped into my local builders merchants. They've been going there for years. Oh, no, contactless. I'm like, don't accept cash. I went, you've got to accept it. Now we can't. So they're bringing in this cashless thing, whether you like it or not. That's the devil's work. And my friend owns the firm, and I thought, I can't walk out. Normally, if I was in B&Q's or say in town, they said, no, I'm not accepting cash. I'd have just left the stuff on the side and walked out. I wouldn't have had it. I said no, because I tell you what, cash is about the only freedom you really have. And they're taking that away now. And cash won't come back. If you allow this cashless thing to come in right now, contactless and all this other stuff, your freedoms are gone. Your liberty's gone. Because if they're just going to turn you off, if you don't play the ball, they're going to turn you off. What's that all about? Judy Mikovits, that's the one. Yeah, I haven't got my glasses on because I've broken them, so I'm struggling to see the comments. Oi, oi, says Carlos. Hello, Carlos. Nice to see you, darling. There's a channel here on YouTube. It says the coronavirus is unlawful, and it is. The lockdown's unlawful, and the fines issued are void because they're unconstitutional. We have a government that does not align itself with the constitutional restraints placed on Westminster by our ancestors that said, you can govern, but you will adhere to the constitutional parameters and restraints placed upon you. But we don't see that now. None of our police operate to the Constitution. However, you can hold them to it. You can hold their feet to the fire. You turn around and say, Mr. Chief Constable, you're being unconstitutional. We know that constitutional law top trumps all your acts and statutes. Do you wish to continue down this path of violating my natural unalienable rights and violating the Constitution as laid down by my ancestors in this great country called England? They disappear. They have to. They know the law. They know the law. So I put a post up this morning. Anyone remember Brexit? Who remembers this thing called Brexit? You have to laugh, didn't you? You have to laugh. Everyone is so, I'm not, by the way, and never have been, easily controllable. I use my noggin. I'm not controllable. Not a chance. I'm respectful. I'll go out there and I won't get too close to people. I respect their right to life. Yeah, you best believe it. But I don't toe the party line. I don't do what politicians tell me to do. I don't do what Her Majesty's Revenues and Collections tell me to do, because I won't be told our contract if it's fair and in accordance with God's law, and it's not. So therefore, all bets are off. That's it. End of. And I wish more people would do that. I really do wish that people would do that. So who knows what's coming? I'm seeing this totalitarian tiptoe creep ever so closer. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, you want to talk to your friends and families, because I tell you now, if we sit back and accept this and don't resist and don't go into civil what did Trey Gowdy tell him? Civil disobedience. Civil disobedience is not violent. It's completely the opposite. It's peaceful. Civil disobedience is a great thing. It's what we do when tyrannies take over. We go into civil disobedience. That's what we have to do now. Because this government is the biggest, unbelievably wicked thing I think humanity's ever seen. I really do truthfully believe that it is the biggest, wickedest thing that we've seen in this country. It is violent. Now, many years ago, the English went round the world and colonized the rest of the world to live by its standards, and it was all done by the rod, the gun, force, whipping, beatings, you name it. I mean, we used to whip the Welsh. If they wouldn't speak in English and they used their native tongue years ago at school, we used to beat them and whip them. That's wicked. So we got to a point where we no longer can go around to America and all these other places and colonize them and beat the bejesus out of them and make them live by our way. So what we've done is we turned on ourselves. We've now got a government that's looked inwards and is attacking all of us. But the problem with that, it's foolhardy, because at some point, self-preservation will kick in. And that's what's happening right here and right now. God, it's warm in here. Whew, my inverters have really been pumping today. That sun's been up. And let me tell you, these things are like little mini heaters. They give off plenty of heat. So that's where we're at, and jelly spoons. Let's bring you closer. That's exactly where we're at right now. We need to get a grip on this. And if we accept this laying down, we got proper problems coming. The Sun newspaper, which is basically toilet roll. Lockdown fines could double for first breach, and 3,200 quid for repeat offenders. I ain't even going to comment on that. Nope. I am not going to comment on that. And this is how the police roll. They own us. Well, they own people. People just can't see it, but they're going to now. There is something coming. I don't know what it is. I can feel it rolling out. I'm seeing it roll out. It's the devil's work. It's satanical for sure. It's dirty. It's dark. It ain't right. It's wrong. It's morally wrong. It is just wrong. It's constitutionally wrong. It's just so wicked. This is all playing out. It is unbelievable. It's got to stop. Free your mind as opposed to up with a family throwing the TV out. Go on, my son, get that TV out and throw it down the window. But I am blessed to say, right, that with the advent of technology, with the advent of mobile phones, smartphones, people are going 3310 so they don't want to be tracked. I want them to track me. I want the government to track me. I do. I want them to know my every move. I want them to know that I'm out. I'm not hiding from these people. Man don't hide from nobody. What's the point in hiding? Oh, I'm getting a phone so they can't track me. Don't bow down to that narrative. Tell them to jog on. We used to be a nation of people who go, no, I'm having that. See you later. Now, oh, how do I pay? Can I ring a line up? Yes. Is this the Fines hotline? Yes. How much do I owe? Oh, you owe £1,500 for going out during lockdown. Oh, can I give you my credit card, please? Oh, dear. What's going on here? Good couple of buddies of mine. What should be the punishment for high treason? And high treason's happening. High treason has been happening in this country for a long time, people. And prison is a good place for criminals and for treasonous people. And they are treasonous. Now, I've told this story. I'm not going to be on here much longer because I've got stuff to do. But I told this story many years ago that I was born in South East London. And we moved out when I was 16 years of age, and we moved down into Kent. And I'll tell you what, peeps. I've had a beautifully blessed life. I really have. I've enjoyed it. I've had a great, great life. If the big man took me back home tomorrow, I'd be like, well, I've had a good life. I've seen a lot of things. I've experienced a lot of things. I've made a lot of friends. I really have. And I'm blessed to have done that. I really have. And but when I was a kid, my mum and dad, we went out for a bit of an outing. We jumped on the bus. We went over to Tower Bridge, and then we had a little walk around the old Tower of London. And we was looking over at all the lion pits where the Romans used to throw the people in and put the lions in there, and it was all very macabre. And then we sat at this picnic bench. There used to be a little tea up there that done tea, sandwiches, ice creams, all that malarkey, bowls of chips. And they had these picnic park benches outside. And this was about 77 to 79, somewhere around there. I'd say between 77, probably about 1977, 78. And we're sitting there having a bit of grub. And I said to my mum, Mum, what's that thing over there? She said, that's Traitor's Gate, boy. I went, oh, is it? Because my mum is mad on the history of the royals. She can tell you everything about the Plantagenets, the Stuarts, the Windsors, all of them. She can. She's got loads of books on it. So she's got this fascination with the royalty and all that. And I said, so what's Traitor's Gate, Mum? She said, Traitor's Gate is where we used to execute traitors to the realm, to the sovereign people of this country. She said, they used to wait for the tide to go out, and they'd have chains down there. She said, and you'll see it when the tide goes out. She said, they used to chain them down there. And then as the tide come in, all the monarchs and that, or whoever it was at the time, used to sit there and watch the tide come up and come over them and drown them. And it was like I took a clip shot of this picture of me sat in this beautiful day, sun's beaming, I'm looking at Traitor's Gate, and my imagination's running wild, and I went click, and I took an image of it in my brain, and I can remember it like that. And it was like, I said to myself back then, why have I done that? Why have I taken a picture frame in my brain of Traitor's Gate and treason and all that? And here we are now, sat in this country right now, where I'm blessed to say more and more people are seeing this now. And you best be seeing it, because I tell you, the future they got planned for you, you ain't going to like. You are not going to like the future of this country with the current status quo and what they have planned for you. You've got no idea what they plan to do, people. They're now talking about forcibly coming into your homes and testing you. If anyone's found with this so-called thing, they're going to take your kids. And I'm not making this up, people. I wish it was fantasy. I wish I was telling fibs, but I'm not. The Queen said the other day, it's like the Second World War. And I'm like, really? So they're going to come into your house, and if your kids test positive for it, or so they say they test positive for it, because who's checking these people? Who's checking the state party to make sure they're honest and decent? Who's checking them? The state? We know where that ends up. Paedophile alley. As Tim Fortescue said, if any of our ministers come to us with scandal, money, drugs, young boys, oh, man, these are the people that are running your nation. Evil wickedness. And they're going to come in there and say, oh, your kid's tested positive. See you later. And your kid goes flying off out the door. You'll sit there crying, your mum's crying, your dad's crying, I don't know what's going on, the old bill are restraining you with their machine guns. Peeps, you really need to wake up. You really need to wake up. Let's play meet. I'm going to play you Meet Your Straw Man, all right? I'm not going to be very loud. I hope you can hear it. But this is how the government see you. And this is their ownership. This is their control. And this is the God's honest truth.
How? Well, you'll need to meet your straw man.
We did this the other day. We did this one the other day. Check this out.
Ah, the government. It loves you and wants to keep you safe and well.
Of course it does.
It even wants to make paying taxes, fines, and court costs easier for you. How? Well, you'll need to meet your straw man. He was born the same day you were. He looks like you, has the same name,
and
lives in your house, but you never knew he existed. You will have even paid his parking tickets or taxes. The worst part? He's been dead from day one.
He's been dead from day one. I'm going to go through this. You pay your straw man's taxes, parking fines, the lot, and he's been dead from day one. Now, how do I know that's true? Because I like facts. I like to back it up with evidence. A friend of mine went to court over some issue, and the judge called this Mr. So-and-so out. And he went, no, I'm here on that matter. He said, Mr. So-and-so's dead. And the judge or the magistrate said, well, how long has he been dead? And he said, hasn't he always been? Now, this is court, you see. This is what court is. It's backwards and forwards. You go and play tennis on a court. You play squash on a court. You play badminton on a court. It's backwards and forwards. That's why it's called a court, because there's a fence in the middle. You go and stand in a dock. You're on a ship. You're a vessel. They deem you as a vessel. You go and stand on the ship in the dock. So you're a ship now in dry dock. You can't move nowhere. But once my friend said, hasn't he always been dead? Because he put a question back to them. That's a question, and that's a loaded question. They went, case dismissed, thanks for coming, see you later. Because they knew that he had them. Square set a match.
From every birth certificate, a legal personality.
Can you hear that? Give me a 5x5 if you can hear it.
To confuse little old you into thinking it's you. So there's a human you and a paper you, or as it's commonly known, a straw man. So when it seems like government officials, court clerks, or the police are speaking English, they aren't. They're speaking legalese, designed to make you agree to verbal and written contracts without even knowing about it, all sprung from Black's Law Dictionary. For example, when the police say, do you understand? You'll say, yes. What they are really saying is, do you stand under our authority? Oopsie-daisy, you just created a verbal contract.
I've done that. I've been out in my automobile, my van, a couple of 3 times. I had intercourse with the old Bill. Blah, blah, blah. Do you understand? I go, no. What do you mean you don't understand? I don't understand, Constable. I don't stand under your authority. You want to see the look. Because they go, we got one here that knows. Oh, this one knows, man. This one figured it out.
Oh, you clever government. Did you know that whenever you register something, you are handing over title to the person you register it with? That's right. Whenever you register something with the government, they assume it belongs to them. Registered your car? Super.
Hang on, Trev wants this a bit louder. Let me plug him in and we'll start it again. I'll turn my thingy on so you can hear it properly. Just bear with me while I flick this thing on. Oh. Probably blow your eardrums now. Right, let's have a bit of volume. I think Trev's done his ears in. Listen to status quo over the years, eh? Right, here we go. That's better, Trev, isn't it? Oh, for you, mate. You know, I'll show you my soda later. Mint. It is so mint. Pay attention.
The government. It loves you and wants to keep you safe and well.
Trev loves it.
Paying taxes, fines, and court costs easier for you.
It's so good, isn't it?
Well, you'll need to meet your straw man. He was born the same day you were. He looks like you, has the same name, and lives in your house, but you never knew he existed. You will have even paid his parking tickets or taxes. The worst part? He's been dead from day one.
Deceased.
From every birth certificate, a legal personality or legal fiction is created with the same name to confuse little old you into thinking it's you. So there's a human you and a paper you, or as it's commonly known, a straw man. So when it seems like government officials, court clerks, or the police are speaking English, they aren't. They're speaking legalese, designed to make you agree to verbal and written contracts without even knowing about it, all spawned from Black's Law Dictionary. For example, when the police say, "Do you understand?" you'll say, "Yes." What they are really saying is, "Do you stand under our authority?" Oopsie-daisy, you just created a verbal contract with them. Oh, you clever government. Do you know that whenever you register something, you are handing over title to the person you register it with? That's right. Whenever you register something with the government, they assume it belongs to them. Register your car? Super! Now you are the registered keeper of your vehicle, and the government can crush it when you don't pay your straw man's taxes. Expecting a new bundle of joy? Well, then you need to register your little darling with a birth certificate. Then they can start the process all over again and create a new straw man for your little one. Isn't that great? So when Junior grows up, he'll be able to generate revenue just like you have. When you notify on your baby by signing the birth certificate, your child becomes a ward of state. And if the government doesn't like what you're doing, they'll assume it's...
Because they're born in hospital, most of them, on a ward, hospital, hospitality. It's all military.
Okay to take the child away, or make new rules for things they don't like. Not enough school? Smacking your child? Shouting too loudly? Then it's off to social services for the little one. When you get a bill, it's sent to you, but belongs to your straw man, not you. That's why bills, fines, and summons start with Mr., Mrs., or Ms. Sometimes you'll see your surname in capitals, just like on a gravestone. That's because your straw man is dead, and just a silly piece of paper, created before you could comprehend or even consent to it.
So it's void.
When you go to court, you represent your straw man. So you, the human, take on any costs, fees, taxes, and fines involved for the straw man. The human you doesn't even need to pay them. But you made a contract with the court by appearing on behalf of your legal personality or straw man, just like the government knew you would. Confused? Well, don't worry. The government doesn't want you to know anyway. If you knew, you'd stop paying things like council tax and parking tickets. Because when you go to court, you are representing your straw man. You are you, alive and made of flesh and blood. Your straw man or legal personality is a piece of paper created from your birth certificate. And you think it's you. What a silly Billy. Would you like to know more? Well, then go over to tpuc.org. Get up, get informed, and get real.
Boom! I'm going to finish this one off with a right proper chicken nugget. Let me tell you. I'm going to go and cook some dinner, but what we'll do, I'm sure you wanted to know that, is I want to, if I can see it actually, let's have a look. Right, so this is called The Law and the Promise. And then once I've done this, we're going to finish this. Brothers, let me take an example from everyday life. Just as no one can set aside or add to a human covenant that has been duly established. So it is in this case. The promises were spoken to Abraham and to his seed. The scripture does not say, and to seeds, meaning many people, but, and to your seed, meaning one, who is Christ. What I mean is this: the law, introduced 430 years later, does not set aside the covenant previously established by God and thus do away with the promise. For if the inheritance depends on the law, then it no longer depends on a promise. But God gave his grace, gave it to Abraham through his promise. This is powerful. Listen to this. What then was the purpose of the law? It was added because of transgressions until the seed to whom the promise referred had come. The law was put into effect through angels by the mediator. A mediator, however, does not represent just one party, but God is one. Is the law, therefore, opposed to the promises of God? Absolutely not. For if a law had been given that could impact life, then righteousness would certainly have come by the law. But the scripture declares that the whole world is a prisoner of sin, so that what was promised, being given through faith in Jesus Christ, might be given to those who believe. Before this faith came, we were held prisoner by the law, locked up until faith should be revealed. So the law was put in charge to lead us to Christ, that we might be justified by faith. Now that faith has come, we're no longer under the supervision of the law. That's powerful. So basically what that's saying is, once you come into the word and you come into scripture and you walk a righteous path, I try and walk righteous daily. This is my word. This is for me. This is written for me and you. And when you pick it up and you use it as a book of law, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. I have the Spirit, and you know the word, and you come into righteousness, and you ask for your transgressions to be forgiven, and that you may walk a righteous path, which is a promise and a gift. Boom! They can't come near you. And why would they want to step on a righteous man? Peeps, I love you as always. Thanks for tuning in. I'm a little bit tired today. I've been out in the sun a bit, putting a load of solar in. Trev, I will do you a little video actually on solar and what we've done so far, and show you. I am producing probably half the power for the village at the minute. I've got so much in at the moment. It's unbelievable. So, God bless you all. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Don't let no one get you down. I can send anyone that through Facebook or Messenger. I can even put the picture up in the link in this video. Fantastic book. The promise was given to you. The law cannot supersede the covenant. The covenant is the Bible, and that's why it's in Parliament. So when you let these people know that you live by the covenant and the promise and the word, your life becomes very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you. So I'll see you all very soon. I'll see you tomorrow. By the grace of God, may we come in and grace you. And yeah, it's all going to be good, people. Yeah, I will stick the link up when I get indoors. I've had my dinner. I'll remember. I'll put the picture up in the comments below, and hopefully you can all take copies of that. So you pick your Bible up, you walk in faith, you are no longer under the law, you're under grace, and you just have to notify all your brothers and sisters in all your constabularies and in your courthouses that you're walking in grace, you are a righteous individual, and that you're walking in faith and in the promise and in the covenant. They won't come near you unless you come out of that covenant and you go harming people. Then you deserve what you're going to get coming, right? Be humble, be strong. I love you as always. I'll be a bit more energy tomorrow. I feel a bit tonight. But thanks for tuning in as always. To the rest of the world, we love you. Stay safe, stay blessed. I'll see you soon.